Are there any challenges you guys are running into right now where you maybe need some coaching? Any ideas or strategies you want to discuss? I mean, now's the time. I think we can kind of just create like an open mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe where do you guys see your business wanting to go in the future? Right, that's another thing too. Is just kind of thinking ahead. Like
Yeah.
what you guys are doing certain things now that's working, right? But thinking in the future, do you want your business to look the same? Do you want it to look different? What I find is that there's different levels of agents, right? There's some agents that want to grow as far as do more deals. So they're in the growth mode, right? There's some agents that are already doing a good amount of deals and they want to just kind of maintain, right? And keep that consistency. Um, so some things for you guys to think about, right? And we can
Yeah.
kind of open up the discussion. Anybody have anything?
I can go.
Yeah.
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 I think for me, at the point where I'm at on my business, I feel I need to have something a little more structured. Like, for example, I know that you have a system for us when we get listings, but I think from the marketing perspective, for me, I need to maximize those opportunities for me. For example, when I get a listing, and I think it's more marketing, personal marketing that I
Mhm.
want to implement, where if I have a new listing, like have like ABC, these are the steps that I need to do when I get a new listing or when
Mhm.
I close or when it goes pending. But I think I'm also at the level of more just maintaining. So maybe just enhancing a little bit more my marketing, just having a system in place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me write. I'm gonna take some notes and then maybe give you guys give me your ideas and then we'll just start kind of tackling them.
Yeah.
So how do you create? Let me see. Create
And,
consistent.
yeah. And it could be
Uh,
for the buy side too, because we're still picking up new buyers, maybe having like other than FUB, having something more in place where this is also something that you need to reach out like from a personal level. I'm doing as much as I can in between like texts and stuff like that, but maybe a little mailer. I don't do mailers at all. And I don't know if that's maybe something that I should implement for the buy
okay.
side. Yeah.
No, this is good. This is a good conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, I definitely have a lot of ideas that I can share with you. So I jot that one down. Okay, what else? What else do you guys got? Any other ideas? So for you guys that just jumped on, we're thinking, where are you at right now in your business? Where would you like to see your business go? Do you want to see, are you trying to grow your business, right? Increase your transactions? Are you trying to create more leverage in your business? Are you trying to maintain where you're at, right? Like Blanca's at a point where she has consistent business, but maybe she's seeing where can I leverage, or where can I get more opportunity from what I already have, right? So,
Mhm.
so kind of those things, or if there's any specific challenges that you're having right now in your business, then also throw me those ideas. So we'll kind of go around and then we'll take some notes down and then we'll dive in. So who got something else?
I can go next.
Yeah.
Uh, I was like sitting and making a plan for myself. Like you keep saying that you need to have a different pillars for this business. You can't just depend on one source. Mostly, I'm very actively taking the flex and like I'm nurturing most of my clients. But at certain point, everyone would be taking a pause, or they would be pushed out for next 3 months or 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So now going forward, when I have time, like for suppose this weekend, like at least in a month, 2 weekends, if I don't have any showings or anything, if I want to structure that to get into some open houses now. I want to really seriously do that. And most of the time in the open houses, whenever you get a buyer, it's my intention is not to, that, hey, I'm here to help you buy the property or anything. I want to go in like, hey, how about a free coffee with a home buying consultation? Let me give me an opportunity to show you how this process works. And later we can see like whether you want to move ahead from there or not. Right. So I'm like brainstorming some ideas, looking into different pillars. And one more thing, what I was thinking was again, like you suggested, like Amaya was doing, make some videos in our studio and start promoting, put some money into those ads, and sometimes in the Instagram ads. So it's not only that keep running behind the clients whom we have in our database, like you said, we need to have a solid pipeline. When those 4 or 5 clients take a pause, or like they're like, hey, we are out
Mhm.
for 1 year. You need, like you said, we need to have a strong pipe. For that, we need to create different pillars. So now going forward, I'm thinking about those pillars now. How to get those pillars.
Got it. So how to create, I put open house opportunities and more pillars in your business. Okay. Okay. This is a good conversation. Okay. Let's get one more, guys. One more. Anybody else have anything else that's pressing or anything they want to kind of open up the discussion to? So I think 3 things, that's enough for us to spend a lot of time talking about those. And if not, we'll just go deep with these 2 right now. You guys have anything? John, Mark, Dev?
Like in terms of like what we want to add to our business.
Yeah, like, so we kind of set the stage of like thinking about our business going forward, right?
Mhm.
Where you're at right now and where you would like to see your business go, right? Is it create more consistency? Is it more
Yeah.
deal flow? Is it get more listings versus buyers? Like those are things, you know, I want to help you guys see forward, and how do I
Yeah.
start moving the needle or moving my plan so that I'm aiming towards that, right?
Okay. I can toss in from myself
Yeah.
personally. I think just leverage. At this point, I'm starting to get a handle of kind of like how the transaction flow and everything works, and how to, work a lead from start to finish. I think like building an army below me of like maybe recruiting other agents who I can help show clients or host open houses, and teach them kind of like the beginning phases. Like, in the gym industry, that was my thing, is I would recruit trainers and teach them how to train clients and how to, get more clients, and, then how to move their business forward and inquire, get more client base as well. So I could see myself kind of, I feel like I'm at the point where I have a lot of stuff in my pipeline where I'm like, hey, can you go show this client? They're a little out of like my region of which I want to like kind of service right now, or can you host my open house for me, and this and that. So how can I leverage maybe bringing in some new agents to help coach and train and, teach them the ropes, but also help me in my business by, teaching them and also helping me close more transactions by leveraging, people around me.
Got it. Okay. That's a great one to talk about, how to create more leverage with other agents. Okay. We'll run through these 3 because I think this is enough that we can kind of dive deep on, but those are all great things. So just to kind of recap, Blanca's more thinking, how do I leverage like the deals that I have to create marketing around it, right? So I can get more deals off of my existing deals, basically. Shri is wanting to know more how to like jump on open houses and how to add more pillars to his lead generation. And then Mark is trying to figure out how to create more leverage with other agents, right? Whether it's recruiting agents or agents within our team, so that he can sort of multiply himself, right? And be able to close more deals in the same amount of time. All great stuff. So we'll just start from the top to the bottom. So creating consistent marketing for buyers and sellers. So let's think about this, right? Let's think about all the pivotal points in a transaction, right? So when you have a seller, for example, what are like the main stopping points, right? Like to me, it's you just signed the listing, so now you have a coming soon, right?
Yeah.
So I would write this down, coming soon. That's your first line of how can I promote this listing? You got a coming soon. You got a just listed, right? Once it's listed on the market, it's live. That's a time where you could promote. You have a pending. Once you just went pending, right? And then you also have a sold. Now it just sold and closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's like your 4 for listings. Those are your 4 opportunities that are easy to just build marketing around those. When it comes to buyers, think about buyers now in that way. So what would be like the 4 ways where you can promote a buyer? So now I want to ask you guys this question.
So 4 ways to promote in contract or recent in contract. In contract.
What do you got?
Pre-approved. Time. Time to start shopping.
There you go.
Pre-approval. The stages, pre-approval, in contract, and sold.
Okay, so there's one more that I think, those are all three good. There's one more that I think. Deb, what you got? Anything else?
Maybe submitting offers. I'm sorry, can you guys hear
Submitting
me?
offers? Yeah, submitting offers,
Yeah.
that could be one. What about when you first meet the buyer? What's the first thing that we do when we meet the buyer?
Oh, the buyer
Consultation.
consult,
And what's the goal at the end of the consult?
the BBR. Yeah,
Signed, just signed, right? Which is equivalent to like a just listed.
yeah.
I just had a new buy, and you can call it just hired. I just got hired by these buyers to go find them a home. I'm super excited. Want to let everybody know. I just got hired by, John and Kathy, and they're looking for a home in the South Bay, somewhere in this price range. So if you guys know of anything coming up, I'm reaching out to my circle, to kind of put this out there, right? So to me, it could be I just got hired or just listed a buyer. It could be even just talking about how you guys just submitted an offer and you're waiting to hear back,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that's another milestone. Offer accepted and then closed. So you can easily flip a buyer into the 4 stages just like you had the seller, right?
Yeah.
And now once you kind of know those stages, now it's just how do you want to promote that? And so, you can promote it simply by just doing a quick little video.
Yeah.
Hey guys, super excited. Just want to let everybody know I just got hired, by a new couple, to help them with their home buying experience, a little bit about my, this couple, blah, blah, blah. If you guys know of anything, to all my realtor friends, my friends and family, I'm really trying to help them find a good home, right? Same thing with your listing. Hey guys, just want to let you know I just got hired by these awesome sellers to sell a home. This one's going to be coming soon. It's in this area. This is more or less the price range. We're still working on getting the listing prepared, but I just wanted to put the word out there in case you or someone may want to know more about this property, right? And so honestly, video, I think, is probably the most effective way because that shows you, your face, your brand, your voice, your personality, and it's easy. Like it could literally be a 20-second, 30-second post, right? And it doesn't have to be rocket science. I think sometimes we think it has to be this extravagant marketing. It could literally just be you just telling people this client just hired, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what you're doing is you're kind of creating top of mind, and then you're also giving people an idea of what it's like to work with you. So that person that's watching you, if they're like, hey, I want to buy a home, man, I love how Blanca talks about how when she just got hired by someone, she's out there already putting the word out. I'm going to call Blanca when it's my time, right? And so I think that's a really, really easy way to leverage. If you want to do a graphic, like some sort of graphic on Canva, you can do that too,
Mm-hmm.
because now and you could do both. You could do the video as one on your story, and then you can also do the post or the graphic, as a post as well.
Yeah.
You can also email your database.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have a bunch of people in your database, in your FUB, you can email them announcing, maybe it's once a week, right? You don't want to bug people. Maybe like if you have 3 people that just hired you, you send one email. I just got hired by these 3 clients. I'm putting the word out there to all the people in my network in case you have a property coming up, in case you're thinking of selling, blah, blah, blah. That also is a great way to just blast your people and follow up us, like your nurtures, your past clients, stuff like that. All right. So I want to give you the ideas, right? It's not how to do it, that's the easy part. It's what to do, right?
What to do. Mm-hmm. This is all good stuff. Another one that I thought of was reviews on both sides, the buyer and the sell side. We can also maybe just get a little more creative with our reviews when our clients are giving us these reviews.
Yeah, I think where the big opportunity is, guys, it's video, right? Because video hits the heart. Video, you get the most connection. Even when you get a review, right? You can do a video of you just like, hey guys, I just want to let everybody know like how grateful I am. I just got this review. This is how I met this couple. These are some of the issues we ran into. This is how we ended up helping them. another 5-star review, right? I want to thank everybody out there who supports me. But every time you get a review, you make a video announcing that you got a review and you tell a quick little story, right?
Yeah.
And it could be 30 seconds. Like literally the whole video could be 30 seconds and it could just be a quick high level bullet point, right? Story. But what does that do for your audience, guys? What does that do?
It gives them information about you, your services, keeps them engaged, knowing what you're doing, what the process is, why people are raving about you.
Exactly. What did you
Yeah.
say, Richa?
Engaging the audience, our clients.
Yep. Engaging the audience. Shri, did you have something? Oh, you're muted.
So just showing you like when you're gonna shop, it's gonna be fun like this.
Right. You're giving people an idea of, number one, your credibility, you're engaging your audience, you're showing people what it's like to work with me. And what that does is that creates a magnet, right? That attracts people. So this is what's called attraction-based marketing, right? Attraction-based marketing. This is something I learned from a guy named Seth O'Byrne. I'll pull him up and show you guys. He's down in San Diego, really good agent, runs a team, does a lot of like high-end listings. And this is a guy I met with like several years back when we were first building our team. And he's like, my style is all attraction-based marketing. He goes, all the marketing that I do, it tells a story where I'm at the center, right? And I'm the hero to people, right? And he goes, it's sexy stuff, or it's funny stuff, or it's whatever that gets people wanting to say, hey, I would love to work with that guy. Like that's what it'd be like to work with him. Or, hey, that guy's super cool and laid back. Like he seems like he'd be a cool person to work with, stuff like that. Marketing is really, really cool. Let me see if I can pull them up real quick. I want to show you guys. This is one of the first like guys that I followed. So this guy, you guys can see. So Seth O'Byrne. Let me know if you guys can hear.
If you're an A+ on communication, you're going to be one of the best realtors in America. Why is that so important? Because in today's 2025 market, sellers need a lot of feedback. And in fact, the most important time to give your clients feedback and to communicate with them is when nothing is going on. Now, back in 2020, when we were showing our homes 3-4 times every single day, we didn't need to give much proactive feedback to our sellers. They didn't even care what we were doing to sell their home. They knew that it was getting action. They knew that we were going to get bidding wars. They knew it was going to sell for more than asking. And we didn't need to tell them anything they didn't already know. But in today's market, in 2025, when it might take 6 months to sell a property, in fact, in some of the 8-figure markets, it might take 1 year, you better bet you need to talk to your clients every couple days. And if that's every couple days for 1.5 years, that's what it is. And to be a great communicator, it's important to underscore that when there's a week with no showings, when there's a week with no activity and no interest and no request to go inside of that property by a broker and end user, those are the times that you call your client. You tell them what you're doing, you tell them why you're busy, and you tell them what feedback that you have. And in fact, no showings for the last week is feedback in and of itself. And if you can master feedback as an agent and become a great communicator, you can become a far better real estate agent. You could be a C+ as a real estate agent.
That's funny because I've never even seen that video, but that's exactly what we've been talking about, right? But I want you guys to kind of see like how this guy does all his marketing. This guy sells multi-million-dollar luxury homes. He works with developers and stuff like that. This guy's like really good agent. But just like look at
We've been selling properties
style.
for RMCI for a very long time. And one of the things that they do so well is create contemporary homes all over Solana Beach and Del Mar that also fit in with the natural landscape and the existing homes. The first thing they decided to do was have a wood baseline to the exterior of the property. It keeps it natural, it ties in with all the tall trees that are mature and on every single block, but it really warms up the space and makes it inviting. Now over here, you're gonna see this Santa Barbara smooth stucco. It's a creamy white texture. It's smooth, it's attractive, and this forms the baseline of the exterior. Then right here, as we get to the front door, you see that there's this textural gray-black stone. It's very heavy, it's weighty, it's substantial. It's something that you always notice on their properties because the stone gives it a lot of weight. Now, of course, you go right back to that wood for the pivot door, and over here, back to that creamy white stucco with an added twist. They actually indent it at 45-degree angles to the window of the office. I consider the exterior of Amphitheater a beautiful exterior, not only because it's contemporary, but it ties in with Del Mar. We've been
All right. So what do you guys take away from his marketing?
He's really knowledgeable. I didn't know it was called
Really?
Santa Barbara stucco.
Right? Me neither. He might have made that up, but you
Yes.
never know.
Yeah.
Knowledgeable. Deb, what do you got?
I would say he's someone very trustworthy and he'll get the job done. And I think that's kind of the impression he's going for. He wants to be very, someone who has a lot of influence and someone a lot of people trust.
Yep. Absolutely. Who else had something?
The way he's
Okay.
presenting the property, right? Like he's like so confident, like he know his shit.
Right? So
Yeah.
he's showing that was an $11 million home,
Mhm.
right? So if someone else sees that, are they going to be confident like, hey, this guy could get my home sold?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? How was he dressed?
Casual.
He's just casual.
Wouldn't it be dope to just be casual and sell $12 million homes?
Yeah.
Yes.
You could do that all day, right? One of the most successful real estate agents out there, Aaron Kerman. Does anybody know who Aaron Kerman is? You guys ever heard of him? He's down south. This guy sells like 40 million, 50 million, $60 million homes. He only wears a black t-shirt and jeans every single time. That's it. That's his brand. Black t-shirt, jeans. He's just the guy that, rubs elbows with all the billionaires. And
That's the AKG founder, right? AKG?
yeah,
That's his-
AKG, Aaron Kerman Group. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is people will relate to you if you're just being yourself, if you're just being super cool, if you're knowledgeable. Even like his videos right now that you saw, those were done on an iPhone. Those weren't done like super edited. You could tell those were just like he has some that he'll do like that are edited or whatever, like a professional. But you could tell that was just like someone holding the iPhone. They had a mic, so he had good audio, and then he was just talking. That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you guys could do the exact same thing. If you just signed the listing and you're out the property and you're walking it, have someone hold the thing for you. And hey guys, I want to tell you about this new listing I just signed. We got it coming up. We're working on it right now. Let me give you a quick little preview. Right? That's the just listed. Right? Or coming soon. Right? Once it's just listed, then you do the same thing again. Right? Once it's pending, you could tell the story of how it went pending. Right? Or what the activity was like, or what you noticed different this time around with the market. Right? Once it sells, then you could tell the story of, maybe, the start to finish, right? Where you get that review. And so those are all milestones that you guys could take advantage of that are going to, number one, build credibility. It's going to showcase your knowledge and expertise. It's going to show your brand, your personality, all that good stuff. And it's going to attract people to want to come work with you, right? And hit you up. Is it going to happen overnight?
Yeah.
No way, Jose, right? Like you just got to commit to like, this is part of me building my business and building my brand. It's something I do. It doesn't happen overnight. It's just something I do every single day, right? It's like brushing your teeth. You don't brush your teeth one time and then you got sparkly whites. It's consistently taking care of your teeth, right? Over time. Questions, guys, questions. How can you now use that style? Like what ideas pop to your head to use that for a buyer?
Going forward, like whenever you sign any new buyer, any BBR, like start promoting that, like start telling your story every time.
Yep.
There is only offer accepted or closed. You have to create a story right from the starting.
Exactly.
That's what my takeaway is, like start creating a story. It's okay. Just if you're showing homes, just when you're writing offers, start telling the story. Hey, we are so excited to submit the offer for these clients today. So start narrating the story for every client that becomes your content.
Absolutely. Because the just listed and just solds that we post for you guys, those are like, that's just free stuff. That's just extra, right? And if your whole page is just listed, just sold, it actually is not that attractive to people, right? So still use those, still share them on your stories and stuff like that. But you should be taking those and making them into short videos where you are the person talking, right? Because then that's going to get you a lot more bang for your buck than just a graphic, right? So I would encourage you to not rely on the graphics, use those as like gravy.
Yeah.
It should always be about you in the video, right? And have fun with it, right? It doesn't have to be like, just be yourself, right? So yeah. Does that give you some ideas, Blanca, on
Yeah. No,
getting
it's
consistent marketing?
yeah, and I added a little more on each of the listing and the buyers. I also added the final walkthrough. I don't think any of us really do videos when we're doing the final walkthrough, or just, maybe showcasing their, at the beginning, their nervous level, and then now the excitement. It's like, we're ready, we're going to close, we can't wait to get our keys, and we never really market ourselves doing any of that. So yeah,
Yep.
it
And
opens
even
up a lot of ideas.
even if your clients are there at the final walkthrough,
Yeah.
your clients probably wouldn't mind being in the video, right? You guys are walking, have someone there with you, maybe just filming, or even if you don't have anybody there, just have the camera. Hey guys, I'm with my clients. We just did a final walkthrough. We're getting ready to close on their home. Hey, John and Sally, really quick, how do you guys feel right now that we did the final walkthrough, right? It's been several weeks, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It could be a quick 1-minute video,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But now that shows your audience like, oh, like that's cool, right? That shows the happiness of the client. And trust me, like that's going to get the phone ringing. That's going to get people to hit you up in the DMs, right?
Yeah. I think it's really good just because it kind of takes you through the process again, because it becomes like clockwork. We forget everything we do in a transaction. And then when you do receive the client review and the client talks about their experience, you're like, wait a minute, I did all that? But it's just, you're so used to doing it daily that you don't notice it anymore until you're actually reading it or putting it into some content. I think this is going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Any questions on this, guys, or comments, feedback before I move on to the next one? Okay.
Good stuff.
Okay. Shri talked about more open house opportunities or adding more pillars into your business. So now that we've covered this first one, what I want to now get you to see is sometimes you don't need to add more pillars. You just need to do your existing pillars better, right? I had, anybody know who Alex Hormozy is? Right? So Alex Hormozy, online business guy or whatever, he had this thing where he had some program where he would invest in your business and you can apply and you could talk to one of his people. I did it for our team, right? I was just like, let me just see what they say, right? This was maybe like a couple years ago. I was like, let me just see if these guys would want to like partner with us and invest in helping us grow. And so I got to meet with one of his like guys who like analyzes the businesses, and I kind of told him what we're doing, all the different stuff, what our history was, our track record, production. And the biggest takeaway I got from him, he's like, man, it sounds like you guys are doing a lot of good things. He goes, you have all the fundamentals. He goes, you got a sales team, you got processes, systems, you got staff, you got admins, you're doing marketing. He goes, I don't really know if we can come into your business and necessarily add anything new. He goes, because usually I come to businesses when they don't have a lot of those pieces, and then we add those pieces and then it helps the business grow. He goes, so what I would encourage you to do is go back and look at all your departments and how do you do those better, is what he told me. He goes, I don't think you need us to add more things. I just think you need to do everything you're doing even better. He goes, so for example, your training, how do you do better training? Your onboarding of your agents, how do you do better onboarding to get, to make it smoother, right? Your processes, right? Like if you guys already have a good process in the back end, we'll go pick that thing apart and see how I can make that better, right? And so I'm telling you guys this because sometimes we think we got to add new things when we can just go back and do it better. So now that you know what we just talked about on the first pillar, Shri, is should you add open houses? Yeah, you should definitely add open houses, but maybe just seeing how can I do what I'm doing better, right? If you're already doing Zillow, if you add open houses, that's great. if you're working your SOI or social media, how do I do those 3 better? Because I don't think you need to add a bunch of other pillars to your business, right? I think you should have the 3 that you're doing, right? Online leads, work your SOI, social media, stuff like that, and then add the open houses. But then constantly look at, am I doing these the most optimal? Can I do something better in my process? When I go show homes, can I have a better showing process? Right? Am I using the systems every single time, right? Am I using the showing system, the feedback system? What sort of experience do the clients get when I show them homes? If it's hot, do I have a water for them, right? If they have their kids, do I have a coloring book for the kids, right? Because that right there is going to help you convert more from what you're already doing, which will, in the sense, increase the amount of deals you're getting, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so Shri, since you asked this question, unmute yourself.
Yes, that's really good what you said. Like, how can you master the things what you're already doing, right? That's really great takeaway for me. Yeah, that's really good.
Exactly. So now let's pick something apart, like your SOI, your social media, like how you're marketing yourself to your SOI. If you had to pick it apart right now and critique it like a Shark Tank, right? How would you critique yourself right now?
I think I could do better in social media, like how we discussed in the first part. I'm not doing any of that. It's just like when you're just showing the homes, but it's a lot of options available to do it in a better way. So when you're doing that, I think I need to do it better in the social media content. But as you said, even the online leads, already I think I'm doing like Mark said, now I know the system, but how to better that system to go to the next step. Like out of 10 people I show, if one guy is signing, how to move to the next step, how I can make 5 people sign, how to better that. So I think I need to move to that step.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you're getting consistent leads already from, online referrals and stuff like that, where you want to move the needle is conversion, right? And so the only way to know conversion is to start tracking them, right? So you can go back and track and really like become a CEO of your business and say, okay, how many leads did I get this month? How many leads did I get? Create a spreadsheet, right? How many leads did I get from SOI? How many leads did I get from Zillow? How many leads did I get from open house? How many people did I actually meet with and did a consultation? How many of them actually signed? How many of them are actually moving forward? Because that right there is that's where the money is at right there, right?
Yeah,
that's gonna tell you a lot, and that's gonna tell you what you need to focus on, right?
Yeah.
And so when you can master your numbers and you can say, okay, if I get 10 leads, 70% of them I'm booking appointments, but only 40% of them are actually showing up, well then there's a gap right there, right? That's something that you probably got to go dive into. Am I setting the right expectations on the call? Am I giving enough value on the call to get them to want to show up to the appointment? Am I following up with an email or a text or a video message to become more sticky and more likable so that they don't tend to, not show up, right? Am I sending enough reminders, right? Text, email, whatever, phone reminders. I know Blanca a lot of times she'll call the night before or send them a text the night before, and then they get the follow-up boss message the morning of, right? So that's, stuff like that is what moves the needle forward, right?
Yeah.
So I think you should add open houses, but I don't think necessarily there needs to be many other pillars after that. Like you could just get really good at online leads, your SOI and open houses, when you're free. Because if you're busy all weekend showing homes, you may not have time for open house, right?
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, I have no clients right now, I have no showings, then your weekend should be filled with either showing homes, meeting a seller, or open house.
Open houses.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, how do we find open houses? What's the best way to find open houses, guys? Anybody got that figured out?
I actually looked in the MLS and reached out to few our brokerage people. Actually, a few are very open. They said they'll let you know like whenever their next listing is coming up, because if the present one already have offers reviewing and anything, most of the people are open to giving you that.
Yeah, Absolutely. Now, especially when they're from EXP, right? Because I think it's kind of the gray area. Like the brokerages want you to host only open houses from our brokerage. Do some brokerages host other brokerages open houses? Yeah, it happens. Maybe it's a friend, your buddy, or whatever. They let you. But I know per the rules, it's supposed to be the same brokerage. So just be careful with that, right? But let me show you really quick. If I wanted to go find an open house, what I would do. You guys can see my screen on the MLS?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go to Matrix. I'm going to go to directory. I'm going to go to office.
It's not sharing.
Okay, sorry. Matrix. I believe it's directory, and then you can go to office, and then I can go to office name, EXP. Let's see, let me make sure I have the right one. Yeah, EXP Realty of California. And I can see their listings. See if I'm doing this right. Our active listings, it's not showing them all. I need to do it a different way. Okay, I don't want to take up too much time, but I'll have to play around with this. But basically what you do is, once I figure this out, you'll go in here and then you can choose the EXP office and you can see all the active listings that they have right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you can kind of find your areas that you're trying to search in, and then you just can call the agents, right? To me, that's a quick way to look for listings. Or if you want to just go through the matrix and search, and you can say active, single family. Let's say I only want properties, over, I don't know, 1.2 million plus, and I want them to be in Santa Clara County. There's 1,031. And then I want days on market to be, gotta be a way to. Let's just start there. 1,031, and then I'm going to sort them by days on market. Right. And then, or I'll go highest to lowest. This is probably the longer way. There's probably a faster way, but I can now go here and see, okay, these listings that have been on the market for a long time. Maybe I can find a sweet spot. Like if I want listings that are like 30 days, 20 to 45 days, right? And then I can just look and see if there's any of them that are part of EXP, the brokerage. Here on the left. It takes a little bit of playing around, but you can see who the broker is, or just by looking at the email. You can do something like that and then start calling them. I could even do Control F, put EXP. But there's not any. Yeah, so I'd go in here and just have to search and try to find some that are EXP. Or if you want to just hit up some other brokers, you can do that as well and try your luck there. But that's a way that you can find EXP listings, target them by days on market, Probably do like anything that's past like the first couple weekends, because usually the first couple weekends the agent's probably going to work those. But by the third weekend and on, they're probably like, all right, who wants to work my open house, right? We've seen that. Or even the second weekend, right? So usually that first weekend, everyone's hot, like they want it for the first weekend. And then after that, they're trying to find somebody to work the open house after that. So if you want to do that, that's a way to go find open house opportunities. Any questions, Shri, on that topic? Adding more pillars, any follow-up stuff?
No, that's good. Actually, I already tried reaching out to the EXP, some listing agents. Quite a very open, like they don't mind giving the open houses, like you said, third or fourth week, first 1-2 weeks they want to do it themselves. And going to the other brokerages, yeah, a lot of people said no. I tried that actually. Because if someone is doing in my neighborhood and I asked them like, hey, next weekend, if you don't mind, I can do it. They said, no, our brokerage is kind of very strict to this policy. We don't allow outside our brokerage.
Yeah, sometimes it's the some of the bigger name brokerages are a little more strict, like Compass or Colwell or Intero, right?
Intero, yeah. They don't
But
allow
if it's
actually.
if it's a smaller brokerage, like a smaller mom and pop brokerage, sometimes they're more open to it. Or if it's an
Okay.
agent who's from out of the area, like it's a San Jose listing, but the agent has a 209, area code, they
They're
may be
open
like,
to it.
yeah, they're open to
Okay.
it, right? So
Yes.
So,
just
so
gotta follow up with them.
just to clarify,
Yeah.
rule of thumb is it has to be a EXP brokerage that we can work.
Well, it's supposed to, otherwise they're saying you need, for liability, you need permission from the seller,
Oh, got it.
right? But what I'm trying to say is that's up to you if you want to take that gamble or risk, right? Because a lot of people, I mean, I see it happen all the time. Like you
Yeah.
see people hosting open houses for other brokerages, right? And so some brokerages are more strict, some brokerages are not. So, but that's what I've heard from EXP. They're like, you need to have something signed by the seller, or you should, just in case there's some liability, or it should be clear that you don't represent the seller, right? So even if like at the open house, there's like some disclosure or something saying I don't represent the seller, I'm just an agent. I think that's more what it's for. They want to make sure there's no confusion about which broker is representing the seller.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. We got the last one here. Mark asked how to create leverage with other agents, right? So when you're wanting to, I mean, should you create leverage with other agents? Absolutely. I think you should, right? I think there's a point in your career when that piece is going to give you leverage. But I also want to be cautious of that too, because you don't want to just pawn things off because you don't want to do it, right? That's the other thing. I've seen it go both ways. I've seen people abuse that because they just don't want to do the work, right? And that ends up negatively affecting their business because now they're splitting a bunch of deals and then their income is a lot lower because, they closed 10 deals, but 5 of them, they added junior agents onto them and split the commission 50-50. So now like they took a half a paycheck, on those deals, right? So I want to make sure there's like an asterisk, right? Like before adding other agents to your deals, you need to make sure that your capacity is full. And then once you're full, or if you have a special circumstance where like, hey, I have this deal and it's all the way in this area and maybe like it's not worth it for me to drive there, I can have someone go show it for me. And then I'm going to use that time to go out and get more business. I think that's the right way to play it. But if it's just to like free up your weekends, I wouldn't do it that way because you're going to take a hit in your paycheck, right? And then also just asking yourself before I add someone else to my deal, am I really working hard enough, right? Am I working enough? Do I have enough deals to start adding other people onto them? That's the question, right? So if all of those boxes are checked where you're like, yeah, I'm super busy, I'm swamped, I just can't keep up with all the deals. So now adding someone else, that's going to help me so I can actually get these closed and service these clients, then that's the right reasons to do it, right? So let's assume that you've done that already, right? Like that box is checked. and you're doing it for the right reasons, I think what you got to look at is strategically, how do I do this, right? Does it make sense to add someone on a deal and split the deal 50-50 with them? I would try not to do that if you don't have to, right? Now, because let's say, for example, like you got a SOI deal, it's a referral, it came to you, you could handle a lot of the stuff, but maybe you just want someone helping you go show the homes because they're looking in, I don't know, Tracy or something, right? You could work something out with that agent to where maybe you're paying them for their time, right? Or maybe you're paying them a small percentage just to help you show the homes, but then you're navigating the rest of the transaction, right? You're doing the calls, you're negotiating with the agents, you're writing the offer, you're doing all that stuff. They're strictly acting as like a showing agent. Then the showing agent's pay is a lot less, right? What I've seen other teams do is they'll pay a showing agent like 8 to 10% of the commission for just showing. That's it. And all they do is show. You know, so I've seen like Daniel Beer, for example, he's one of his main his top agents on his team. I think he did like, I don't know, 80 or 90 deals. He has 2 showing agents. All they do is show. He's also trained those agents and he's vetted them and make sure like they're good and they know his system and his process. They use that showing system where they grade the property 1 through 7, right? That's actually who I got it from. I got it from him. And he has 2 showing agents and he'll go show homes himself, you know, but then he has 2 other agents out there showing homes as well. And that's how he's able to do so many deals at once. But he's the one handling all the negotiations. He's the one writing the offer. He's the one following up with the agents after. They just go show and then they fill out the form, the 1 through 7, and then they report back to him. And then he calls the client and says, okay, my assistant just showed you the home. It looks like out of these 3, you rated this one a 6 or a 7. Looks like you guys are thinking, right? And then he starts walking through that process and he handles that. I think that's the most profitable way for you to add leverage through agents instead of just like splitting a deal 50-50, right? Especially if you're the one that lead came to you and then now you're adding someone on it. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Now, the other way around, the junior agent or this other agent, they brought the deal in. They're adding you. Okay, well, then at that point, you guys are splitting it 50-50, but they're adding you to their deal, right? To their lead. That's different, right? That's a bonus. That's gravy, right? Like you wouldn't have had that if they didn't bring it in. So I think in that scenario, you're helping them close the deal. If you're the senior, you're the one helping make sure that deal goes through. So in that scenario, yeah, it's worth, you know, the 50-50. They're going to learn. You're going to have them do a lot of the steps. You're going to have them show homes. They're going to be actively participating in the whole entire deal and taking on some of the workload. So yeah, then that I think justifies splitting the deal 50-50 when they're bringing the deal to you. But the other way around, if it's my SOI and I want to add somebody, I'm not going to pay someone 50% just to go show houses for me. That's not the best way to, that's not profitable. Okay, so now let's think about how do you get those agents, right? Because Mark, you had mentioned, well, do I recruit other agents? Do I bring them in? I would always start with looking what's in front of you first, right? So before I go and say, hey, I want to recruit other agents and bring them onto our team, outside agents, I would say, well, who on our team can fit that role that would want to, you know, maybe it's one of the newer agents on our team that they're still learning and they want these opportunities. I would leverage that person, right? So we're bringing in a lot of new agents to our team. These guys are hungry. They would want to get that experience and they would want to work with you guys. And they're also showing up to training. They're starting to learn our systems, right? So that's going to be to me, the path of least resistance to get leverage from the team versus going out there and finding a new agent or another agent, bringing them on. And then now we have to train them and get them up and running. To me, that takes longer. And so I would look at who do I have first within the team that, you know, I think I can vibe with. I think they're coachable. I think I can, you know, help them with their deals. I think they can help me. I would look at that first. And then if you want to like build something long term and you want to go hire someone or bring an agent on, you can do that as well if you want to put that time and energy to train people. But my only concern about that is you want to make sure that's not going to take away from your production, right? You want to more do it like as an add-on to help you when you need the leverage, but you don't want to necessarily be responsible for having all these agents under you and like you have to train them and they report to you, right? Now that's more like building a team, and that's like a whole nother ball game, right? Where sometimes building a team is like, it sounds great, but it takes away from you actually going out there and producing. And so you can essentially have a team without having to do all the heavy lifting of a team because they're already being ran through the PRG system. If that makes sense, right? All right, questions. I know I'm giving you like a lot to think about, but what questions do you have or clarifying points, or is this helpful, Mark?
Yeah, that's helpful. Definitely wasn't the objection or my intention to want to like split deals, but how can I I feel like sometimes maybe I'm letting leads slip through the cracks because I'm too busy servicing like my hottest leads now. And like, how could I potentially, I just feel like sometimes just have too many things, like people requesting stuff and I can't go show that property because I already have a bunch of other stuff already lined up. So how do I try to service everything at the same time?
Got it. So a lot of people run into that. John, you had a question or do you have a comment?
Yeah, we used to when we needed someone to show for us, back when I was in Arizona, we would just pay a flat fee per door, $50 a door. You got 3 homes to show. I can't do it. My assistant's doing it, and you pay $150.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
worth
better than splitting a deal. Yeah.
That's very worth it. And for someone like $150 might really help them out, right? So because maybe they're getting up and running, they don't got a lot of income coming in. And so that's a great return on investment, right? Think about it. $150, they go spend 3 hours showing homes for you. And now you get those 3 hours back, and now you can follow up with these other leads or deals, right?
There's also an app. I don't know if they have it out here called Show Whammy.
They do.
Okay. I mean, I've never used it. I've always gotten ads for it before. I don't know how well that works. And it's the same concept where you just kind of put it out there on the app. Someone claims it. It's almost like Uber. Uber for showing homes. An agent will then show the home for you. Thing I worry about, someone you don't know showing the home, you can try to steal your client.
Well, so
Show Whammy,
I've looked in the Show Whammy. It is a legit thing, and there's like a clause or something. There's like an agreement in there where they're not going to poach your client. Those agents are strictly trying to make just some income. But the only problem with Show Whammy is that there's no quality control over what the experience is like, and so you got to remember, you should be the one managing how this experience goes. And so I would always try to go internal first, because then you can pick who you want as the agent, right? Like if there's an up and coming junior agent on our team and you're like, hey, this guy's solid. Like I know he's on it. They dress well. They're at the meetings. They're at the trainings. I get along with them, stuff like that. I can coach them and kind of mold them to how I want my clients being shown homes. That's probably your better way to maintain the quality control, because at the end of the day, like, especially if it was like a referral or something, you don't want them to go butcher that. And then now you mess that referral source up. Right. And so you got to be very, very careful with just getting any random person. If I'm going to ever have anybody show a home for me, I'm going to make sure I sat down with them and I trained them and I coached them, or I at least vetted them to see what they know. Right. Making sure they're doing it the way that I would do it, at least to like a 80 or 90%. What was the other thing, Mark? What was the other thing you were saying on that same train of thought?
I think that covers most of it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So start seeing like who on our team, like you can team up with, right? And this is where, like, when you're in the office and you're meeting some of our newer agents or whatever, or you even put it out there in their Slack channel, hey guys, I'm getting busy. Do any agents want to, shadow me or work with me on some of my leads or deals and help me show homes? And then see who reaches out to you, and then interview them basically. That's what you should do, right? See where they're at. You know, and see if you think they're going to be a good fit to help you, right? Or if you already have your eye on somebody, like, hey, like these 2 or 3 people, like they're pretty solid, then go talk to them, approach them, and see if they would like to help you. Now, the other thing you said was that getting too many leads. So the other thing we got to be conscious of is it's okay to like not take any more leads too, right? So make sure you guys are pausing yourself. Like if you're super busy and you're not able to keep up with the leads you have, don't think you just have to keep getting more leads. So it's okay to pause yourself from Flex. It's okay to, you know, not claim any more leads from like the follow-up boss or anything like that until you can really get a handle on yours. So that's one thing, is just be diligent about, aware of what's my capacity right now, because you can always unpause yourself later, right? So you could pause for a few weeks and then you're like, okay, I can take on a couple more. Now I'll unpause. That's the great thing about us. The other thing too is that to make sure your leads don't slip through the cracks, you need to make sure you're putting some follow-up time every single day. That's the other thing too. Like Blanca's like, you follow up every day pretty much, right, Blanca?
Yeah. This morning I booked 2 appointments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blanca, how many new leads are you really taking on right now?
Not many. Not many
Right.
at all. Yeah. Just maybe, you know, scattered here and there. I would say maybe 1 a week.
There you go. Right. So I want you guys to keep that in mind, right? Blanca's our top producer on our team. She's at a point where she has a lot of leads in her follow-up boss, right? She's built that pipeline already. It's there. She gets referrals, but from the team, she might be taking like a handful every month,
Yeah.
if that.
Yeah.
You know, and there's sometimes where in the past where she's like, hey, you know, I need some more leads, put me on.
Yeah.
But for a lot of times she's like, hey, I'm full right now. Like, I
Yeah.
just need to close the ones that I have. And so I know Blanca spends a lot of time, like every morning, if you guys pay attention to Blanca, like she's in the office probably at least 3 days a week, maybe.
Yeah.
And I know she's at her desk and she's just,
Yeah.
she's making calls, right?
And even from home, like today I stayed home because I had a Zoom early and I just decided to work from home. And I was just following up for the day at the park. And one client that I hadn't been able to get in touch with, I was able to book them. So
There you
just
go.
proactive on your follow-up time, guys. Even when you're at the office, I know it's easy to get distracted, but if that's your time that you're in the office to follow up, just really just zone in and do it and knock it out of the way, and you're going to feel so much better because you'll be caught up. You won't, because it's a snowball effect. If you miss one day and then something comes up the next day and then now it's day 3, you're like so behind. And I'm
Yeah.
guilty of that. It happens. Sometimes you get busy, but always reset. Every day is a reset. It's a restart. It's a reset. Not weekly. It's daily. You need to just reset. I got to do my calls. I got to catch up. Otherwise, it just continues to grow out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing too, right? Is that making sure you're being honest with yourself. Like, am I actually spending time every morning following up? Even if it's just for 1 hour, guys,
Yeah.
like 1 hour, 4 or 5 days a week, that compounds over time, right? It's like, hey, I may not be in a position where I want to take more leads because I'm busy. I got a lot of showings. I got people in my pipe, stuff like that. But I got 200 leads in my follow-up boss. I still need to make sure I'm hitting those and following up and lining up my deal that's going to come next month or the next month or the next month, right? And so even if it's just 1 solid hour where you're just locked in and you have, 5 solid conversations and book 1 appointment, I mean, that's the name of the game, right? It's just slow and steady wins the race, So I know for sure Blanca is like doing that, whether you see her in the office or whether she's at home, she's hitting her follow-up boss daily, right?
It's
right.
important.
Because then you got to ask yourself, well, if I was doing that, then would I need to add other agents? Would I need leverage, right? Or if I was doing that, then I'd have more opportunities. And then now it does make sense for me to get help from another agent, right? And now I got 5 deals going at one time instead of just 1 or 2 that I can handle on my own. Right?
And really quick, Mark, I don't know if maybe this is what's happening to you now that you're getting a little busier. Also, remember the resources we have, our back end, Andrea, our support system. Once you get something in, it's kind of like just checking in and following up so you're not so consumed daily on that one deal and you're able to continue prospecting and freeing up your time. I know we wanted, like, I was one of the agents, I think Enrique could say, that was the hardest to let go of your transaction because I felt nobody can do it better than me. But now that I have owned the system and what we have, the resources, it's opened up my time to be able to service more clients and just let it, delegate it, or let it be.
Yeah.
Definitely still monitoring and keeping up and, in tune with the important stuff, but not just really, because it can consume your whole day and you're just basically email paper monitoring. So just a little bit of advice there.
Think about this, guys. Like, once you kind of figure the game out and you really see how all the pieces of the puzzle fit together, you can become really efficient. And I know me, like, because I know what I got to focus on, I can get a lot more done in 4 hours than most agents can get done in 8 hours, right? Because I'm only focused on the shit that moves the needle forward. And everything else, I'm trying to delegate it if I can, or leverage some system or, admin team or somebody. But I always would, if I'm going to do something, I'm asking myself, is there someone else that can do this for me? Or is there a system that can help me do this faster? Right. So things like ChatGPT, utilizing our admins, stuff like that, utilizing the templates we got. Right. So I'm not having to like recreate the wheel, and get a lot more done in a shorter amount of time. Right. And just be very, very, very targeted, so something to think about, guys. We're coming up on time, guys. We went through a lot of stuff today. Did you guys get some good takeaways today?
Was good.
Okay. Awesome, guys. We're going to wrap up. If you need anything from me, please feel free to reach out. But I'm excited to keep this going, guys. Every Thursday, we're going to try to bring it like this and hopefully, elevate you guys' business. But go now, because there's a lot that we talked about today. So now maybe take 5 minutes to write down, like, what are 2 things that I got to start working on now, right? Or maybe what's one thing? It could even be one. Like, out of everything, this is the most important thing that I got to start working on, right? Because you guys probably all got a little bit of a different piece from this today.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're gonna get sucked back into work mode, and then you forget, like, oh, I forgot I was supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And put it on your calendar, right? If it's not in your calendar, it's not gonna exist. So if like Blanca, like, if you're gonna start doing these videos, what day and time are you gonna work on those? And and that needs to be blocked out in your calendar, because you will get busy and you will forget.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
And the needle won't move forward if you just get caught back up in the grind, right? Yeah. All right, guys. That's all I got for you today, guys. See you guys soon.
Have a good one, guys. See you guys Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. Be there. All right. Later, guys.
Thanks.